Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home. My name is Becky, and I am so excited that you're here today. Well, today we are going to be doing a Q&A. So a few videos ago, I asked you guys if you would be interested in me doing one. And if you were, do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Anything that you were curious about, that you wanted to know? I am an open book, and I'm going to share with you today. So I got just a few questions, and I thought we would go outside and have a nice refreshing drink and sit in the shade and answer those questions for you. But before we go out in this terrible heat, we need a nice, cold, refreshing drink. So I decided that I would do a quick pitcher of homemade lemonade, freshly squeezed, just like my mom used to make. Oh, and lots of sugar. We do not skimp on the sugar around here, so no judgments, right? On the night that I made this lemonade, Tanner and Lily were planning on coming over for dinner, so we were going to have the whole family together, and I just wanted to fix something special for everybody. Lily is always on the search for a lemonade that tastes like her grandma used to make. When we go out to dinner, she'll order a lemonade, and she'll say, that doesn't taste like grandma's, you know? So I thought I would do as best as I could to replicate my mom's recipe. Now, I don't know that she had a recipe. I just did the best I could. All I know is she just put a lot of sugar in there. It was not a tart lemonade by any stretch of the imagination, but it was delicious and magical, and I don't know any other way to describe it. It was just a treat that we didn't get very often, but when we did, we just savored every second of it. So that was what I was hoping to do, is just give the girls a little memory of their grandma. So we had a lovely dinner. We had pulled pork that I made in the crock pot with a vinegar sauce, which of course we do vinegar sauce around here because we are from North Carolina. And I had some French fries and hush puppies and some slaw, and we just made little sandwiches. So it was quite delicious. Now, what we're going to do today, as soon as we finish this lemonade, is we're going to go back out to the back of the house, sit in the shade, and we're going to have a little Q&A chat. I didn't get a lot of questions, but I did get, I think maybe 4, 5 at the most, just asking things that people might be curious about. I don't know if this is the type of video that you guys are interested in seeing. You may not care anything about it. I thought it would just be something different to do, and a video that I could make really easily and not have to do a lot of prep work for. A lot of times when I pick a video, I have to rearrange my house or pull out things to decorate with, or hop in the car and go thrifting, and then it's just, you know, an easy video to make. So I thought I would throw it in there. I'm off this week. I've got a small list of different videos that I'd like to make for you while I'm off, and this was just one of them. So if it doesn't go over well, it won't be a big deal. It'll just be an extra video that we've made this week. I should have plenty of content coming at you pretty soon. I have to say that in the end, the lemonade did not taste as good as my mom's. I don't know why. I did it pretty much exactly the same way that she does hers. It wasn't very aesthetic either, you can see, but it was because those lemons were so full of juice. By the time I finished squeezing all the juice out, they were just kind of depleted, but it tasted good. Everybody liked it. We enjoyed it, so we'll do it again for sure. Okay, we got me and my little doggy out here. We're going to answer some questions, and I've got some lemonade. You can hear the sirens in the background. We live really close to a major highway, so we're used to it. It's just a part of life. I actually grew up next to a fire station right across the road. Funny story. Not funny, not really funny. I told you we had a little convenience store that my family owned, and the fire station was right next door. Like, you could walk there in just a couple seconds. The store burned to the ground twice, and the firemen never showed up. Maybe it'll be gone in a minute, I'm sorry. Never showed up. So yeah, I grew up next to a fire station. I never really heard the sirens. They didn't bother me. After living with them my whole entire life, I never heard them. Just kind of blocked them out, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Let's answer some questions. Barbara, I got her on a leash, so she can't run away from me. Okay, let's see. I've got everything printed out so that I can kind of get to the questions quick. Carrie is one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. She always comments on my videos, and she is just so uplifting, and I just love Carrie. Carrie said, a good question for a Q&A for me. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel, and what tips and words of encouragement would you say to someone who is thinking about doing that as well? So I wanted to do the YouTube channel for my crafting. I've always liked to do crafting, and I started watching YouTube a couple years before I decided to do it, and I just really enjoyed it. And I didn't do it because I was scared, and I kept praying, and I kept saying, God, if you don't want me to do it, just take the want away from me. Just make me not want to do it, and then I won't worry about it. Well, he didn't take it away, and I finally, one day, I decided that I was going to make my first video, and I think it was a, what was it? I know it had to do with my bee decor. I had to go back and look. It was unboxing my spring and summer bee decor. So all I did was get my box of decor out, and I unboxed it and showed it to you. That was my very first video. And then I think I made like several videos and just put them out back to back to back. I did one that had a kitchen tour, like here's my kitchen, and I think maybe something with, I did one where I showed you some of my dishes and different ways to decorate with it. But anyway, within 1 month I had hit 1,000 subscribers, and I always will say that it must have been God wanting me to do it, because how else would I have gotten 1,000 subscribers in less than a month? I mean, that doesn't happen. It's really unheard of with YouTube, and I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm just saying, if you start your own YouTube channel, don't expect to get 1,000 subscribers very quickly. It takes a while. My advice would be to jump on to like collaborations, try to do that. I would use hashtags that, like, vintage, at that time farmhouse was really popular, so I would use like vintage farmhouse, and decorate with me, kitchen tours, things like that. The hashtags are really important in your title. Those are the things that kind of get people to notice you. Be your original self. Don't try to be like anybody else on YouTube. I know when you're watching other YouTubers, you get inspired by them, and you kind of pick up some of their words and habits, but my advice is to just be yourself. If you mess up, include your mess ups. Be careful of the words that you choose. Try to keep things positive and uplifting. Every now and then I'll go on a rant, but I do try to keep things as positive as possible, because I think people are mostly here just to see me decorate. They don't care what my political views are. They don't care what my personal views are. I just got hit in the head with a pine cone. Just keep it light, keep it happy, keep it fun. Let's see, what other advice could I possibly give? One thing that I did do a lot when I first started is I would watch other YouTubers that had not a huge following, but just like a moderate following, and I would watch their videos, and then I would go on there and comment, and I would say, you know, something positive about their video, give them a like, support them, of course. And people read comments, and they would see my channel name and they'd say, oh, I wonder what she's all about, and then they would click on there. I think that helped a lot too. That would probably be the best advice I could give you. You don't need a lot of equipment. I still use my phone. I tried to use a light ring and all of that. I didn't keep it up. I have a tripod that I use, which I'm using right now, and that's it. I got the editing software online. It's free. She's walking over my camera, so it's gonna shake a little bit. You don't have to have a lot of money to invest. If you want a vlogging camera, you can, but I never got one, just because I feel like it's easier for me to upload from my phone. But I needed a lot of storage on my phone, so I did have to buy extra storage. So, but how I got started is just like I said. I prayed about it first before I did anything. Oh, I didn't tell David about it until I had the 1,000 subscribers. He didn't even know about it. None of my family knew about it. My kids didn't know. After I got the 1,000 subscribers, I said, okay, I need to tell y'all something. And I said, they're like, okay, what? I said, I started a YouTube channel, and David went on there and he watched it, and he has just been supportive ever since. He watches every single video that I put out. He reads every single comment that you guys leave. He reads every single one of them. Mostly, I think, well, he likes to read the comments, but I think mostly he's making sure nobody puts anything negative on there. He doesn't go for that at all. So my lemonade is melting. Okay, let's go to our next question. I hope that was okay, Carrie, if that answered your question. Let's see. Laura is another person that I love on here. She always leaves me great comments. I think she and I are probably about the same age, judging from her profile picture, and we have a similar sense of humor. So Laura gets me. She said, I find myself struggling to find my own style because I love so many different styles. How did you decide to go for the 70s style? Do you find yourself being pulled into the popular trends that are happening now, like the moody look? I'm having some serious squirrel decorating moments and need some redirection. I do understand the squirrel situation because I have squirrels in my head all the time. I've always loved the 70s style. I always have. I guess because I grew up in the 90s. You know, we as kids, we kind of gravitate towards the style of our parents maybe, or maybe our grandparents. So like in the 90s, we love the 70s. My kids love the style of the 90s now. So I think it's fun that every generation gets to repeat itself, and the next generation kind of appreciates it a little more. So I have always loved vintage style, vintage decorations. I've been through them all. You know, I got married at 18 years old, so I've been through so many different styles, but I've never really committed to doing a home in the 70s until recently, and I'm still kind of pulling myself back a little bit. I use a lot of restraint when it comes to decorating because my house is so small, and I don't want to go too crazy because it can seem overwhelming, and you know, my brain starts to frizzle. But yes, I do love all the styles. Yes, I want to decorate with all the styles. I want to do this, I want to do that. But at the end of the day, the one style that brings me the most joy and brings the biggest smile to my face is the one that I'm going with at this present moment. But that doesn't mean that in a year from now, I'm not going to be loving something else. Who knows? We're all on this journey. We're living each day, learning each day, finding new things to love and appreciate each day. So you know what, Laura, if you love it, if you love something right now, go for it. And then if you change your mind, you change your mind. It's just a matter of redecorating. That's the beauty of it all. It's just, let's just redecorate, because it's just another fun thing to do, right? Okay, let's see, what do we have? This is a good question. This is from Kathleen. She said, how do you keep up with dusting or cleaning all your glassware and dishes? I don't. I don't mind dusting. Dusting is not a chore that I hate to do. I kind of let it get to where I can see it with my naked eye, and then I'll go in there and I'll dust it. But I enjoy going in there and cleaning it all up and shining it all up every once in a while, but I don't do it all the time. It gets bad. Like today, I went to go do a video in my bathroom and it needed dusting so bad. So I stopped and I dusted and I just got it cleaned up. But it's not a lifestyle for everybody. If you hate to dust, then the maximalist lifestyle is not for you. You should not go there. But if you don't mind it, I don't mind it. It's just a matter of getting to play with my toys, right? Okay, let's see, who do we have? Okay, Moonlit Trails. I want to hear you and David's love story, how you met, when you had your kiddos. Did you get along? Does he support you doing YouTube and thrifting? Does he like your decor? Also, do you scrapbook, junk journal? Do scrapbooking, junk journaling? Would you be willing to share your process and flip throughs? Cook with me and craft with me videos, ? So let's start at the bottom. Scrapbooking and junk journaling. I did used to do scrapbooking, and I have a lot of scrapbooks, and yes, I can show you my scrapbooks. I have no problem doing that. I stopped scrapbooking because all I did was cry. When I was going through all of the videos, when I was going through all of the pictures of my babies when they were little, I just cried. And I wasn't finding joy in it anymore at all. I was just sad. So I did stop scrapbooking. I kept all of the ones that I made, and yeah, I can show them to you. That's easy. Mine and David's love story. So David and I have met in the 10th grade. I was sitting in science class, and he came in and he saw me, and he came to sit beside me. And if you want to know, I mean, we're going to be real, we're going to be honest. So back in the 90s, they had these things called Daisy Dukes. Do you girls know what Daisy Dukes were? Well, if you've ever watched the Dukes of Hazzard and you know who Daisy Duke is, you know the kind of clothes she wore. Well, I had on some Daisy Dukes. That helped the situation. That was probably what drew his eye in. But the first day that he met me in science class, he told me he wanted to marry me. I didn't like David at first. I mean, I liked him as a friend, I liked him as a person, but I had a boyfriend, and I wasn't looking for another boyfriend. I liked the one I had. So he kind of played the game for a little while and kind of, you know, wooed me over. But yeah, he told me the first time he met me that he was going to marry me, and I was 16, 17 years old, I think. I graduated high school in 1996. I was 17 years old. In August of 1996, I turned 18, and that was the 18th. You okay? You okay? I turned 18 on the 18th, and we got married on the 25th. I got married 7 days after turning 18 years old. So we've been married ever since. We had Summer at 19, Lily at 20, and only by the grace of God, it was by nothing that we did right. We did nothing right. It was all by Him, and changing that we did throughout our lives. Does He support me doing YouTube? Yes, He does. He's very supportive. Like I said, He watches all the videos. He reads all the comments. He just doesn't want to be on the videos. He is just not a video camera type of guy. He doesn't like it. So he prefers to be showcased just a little, not a lot. Tiny bit, and I have to talk him into that. And it's usually when we're doing a project together that he'll do that. Thrifting, he doesn't mind all the thrifting. He loves the style that we're doing our house in. He loves the 70s style too. He is, if we had room, he would be right there with me putting those floral couches in there. He loves them. I saw one not too long ago on Facebook Marketplace for a really good price, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I like that." But we talked about it seriously getting it, but we just had nowhere to put it. So he loves the style that we're going with right now. But it doesn't matter what I put in that house. If I fill that house to the brim with porcelain cat figurines, he doesn't care. He has never said anything to me about how I decorate, how much I bring in, or anything like that. He's always just let me do what I want to do, and if he didn't like it, he'd just smile and, yeah, that's nice. He would never tell me it was ugly. And I have done a lot of different styles, so we've been through a lot. So it's the experience with Shelly. I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Shelly for Thriftmas in July. She's starting her own YouTube channel, and I sent her a message when she sent me this, and we're gonna meet Shelly later. How about that? That'll explain it. So Shelly said, "I would like to know what your occupation is, how you learned to use the program to edit your videos. I have been trying for years to start, and I can't get comfortable with iMovie, CapCut, or Premiere Pro. Will you have Thriftmas this year, and can we link up with you if you do? It would be fun to have a good group posting for Thriftmas. I look forward to every video you post." So, my occupation is, I work in a doctor's office. I started working there 16 years ago. I was hired to answer phones and make appointments. It's cardiologist office. I am not a nurse. I am not anything clinical. Throughout the years of working there, I have had 16 years plus of on-the-job training. So now I can do all the billing and coding. I deal with all the insurance companies. I place patients. I do EKGs, light testing, like I can do breathing tests and things like that. I've learned everything that I have done through on-the-job training, and I do well. I mean, I function okay. I don't talk to anybody about their medical stuff, like give any kind of medical advice or anything like that. The doctor does all of that. So when I place the patient, I take their EKG, and all of that is interpreted with the physician. I don't do any of that. I just do the test. So I have a line that I can't cross when it comes to doing the job but not being clinical, if that makes sense. But I do fight every day of my life with the insurance companies. It's a battle. So that's what I do. And right now I'm only working 3.5 days a week because we're a small practice. I hope to not retire, but just be able to come home soon. I'm hoping to be a full-time grandma one day soon. So I don't want to do it forever. I want to be a grandma, and I want to YouTube. That's my future plans. But yes, Shelly, you and I can talk about that later, about the programs. This is from Michelle. I have a suggestion. How did you and David meet? What was your wedding like? I'm just very curious. Would love to know your story. Same thing. We met in high school. Our wedding was in a church. It was pretty much planned by my mom and my sister and my mother-in-law, because I didn't know anything about planning weddings. We had artificial flowers. My sister made all the floral arrangements for me. I found my dress the first place I went to. It was $500. My sister made my veil. I still have all of it. I have the bouquet, the veil, the dress, everything. It was an A-line dress. I'll put a picture here so you can see our wedding picture. David had long hair. He looked like, it was during the time where, what was it? Brad Pitt was in, all I can think of is A River Runs Through It, but that's not the one. Legends of the Fall. So he had that long Brad Pitt hair, which I loved. his long hair. I still have his little ponytail. When they cut it off, they put it in a bag. I still have it. So we were just dumb and young, and I had my bridesmaids wore homemade dresses, and my colors were burgundy, and that was it, just burgundy and ivy. Burgundy and ivy was what I used. We had it was what you would now call a cake and what is it called, cake and punch wedding. We didn't have a sit-down dinner. We didn't do anything like that. We had light hors d'oeuvres, a cake, and punch, and that was it. And it was in the fellowship hall, and it was just very simple. I didn't know any better. He didn't know any better. We were still married at the end of the day, and we didn't spend $40,000 on a wedding. So, yep, that was our wedding. I'll put as many pictures as I can find up there for you. Okay, the curated home, Joanne, right? Yes, Joanne. As far as Q&A, I'd like to know what you do for a living. I told you that. I know it has something to do with healthcare, but what exactly is it, and how long have you done that? Okay, I've already answered that. The other thing that I will add about my job is in the community that we're in. I told you it was a cardiologist office. In the community that we're in, it's owned primarily by a big corporation, all of the doctor's offices, and we're not in that big corporation. We are privately owned, small mom and pop, or just pop. There's no mom, there's just pop. The doctor that I work for, and we're small. We're a small practice because he never went in with that big corporation, which is Novant. So it's not a crazy busy office, and I just have one doctor, thank goodness, to deal with, because if I had a lot, I don't know that I'd be able to keep up with it. It's a lot of work. Okay, I think that might be all my questions. What I did was I printed them all out, and I highlighted the ideas for the shows in blue and the questions in yellow. Okay, that's all my questions. If you guys have any more questions, we can do another video like this. If this does well, it may not do anything. You guys may not even care anything about it, but that's it. That's the questions that you asked. That's me in a nutshell. If you have any more questions, let me know. I'm an open book. I have no secrets. I'm gonna finish my lemonade, let my little dog finish her business, and until next time, I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.